Okay, so starting a business, it can be complicated. But there's one document that can save you from just a world of legal headaches down the road. Today, we are doing a deep dive into a tool that thousands of entrepreneurs use, the free LLC operating agreement from Northwest Registered Agent. We're going to break down exactly what you're getting and figure out if it's the right foundation for your business.
So here's our game plan. We'll start with the basics, the what and the why. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of its features. We'll see how it actually holds up in the real world, give you the straight-up pros and cons, and then wrap it all up with our final verdict.
All right, first things first. Before we even get into Northwest's specific template, let's just make sure we're on the same page about what an operating agreement is, and maybe more importantly, what kind of problems it's designed to stop before they even start.
I want you to think of an operating agreement as kind of like the internal rulebook for your company. Your official articles of organization, that just tells the state, hey, we exist. But this document, this is for you and your partners. It defines how you're going to run the show every single day. And, critically, it's the key to proving that your personal stuff is legally separate from your business debts. Super important.
This quote right here, from their own material, it really gets to the heart of Northwest's whole philosophy. They've made a very deliberate choice to just ditch the complicated legal jargon. Their goal isn't to impress a bunch of lawyers, it's to create a practical document that a real business owner can actually pick up, read, and understand. And that focus on accessibility, that's really their secret sauce.
And, well, the proof is in the pudding, right? The numbers speak for themselves. According to Northwest, their templates have been used to form over 1.5 million LLCs. Now, that's not just some random number. That's a huge testament to how many entrepreneurs have put their trust in this exact template to build their business on.
Okay, so we get the philosophy behind it. Now, let's pop the hood and see what you're actually getting. We're going to walk through the key pieces of this agreement, article by article. So right off the bat, you can see this is not some generic one-size-fits-all document. Nope. Northwest gives you 3 distinct flavors. The single-member version is perfect for the solo entrepreneur. It helps you build that legal wall between your personal life and your business. The multi-member one is for partnerships, and it lays out all the rules for ownership and what happens when you don't see eye to eye. And then there's the manager-managed version. That's for when you have investors who aren't involved in the day-to-day, and it clearly defines who's in charge.
The agreement itself is put together in a really logical way, broken into 8 articles. Article 1 basically sets the stage. It confirms the LLC's purpose and lays out how new members can join. Then Article 2 gets right to it. It's all about the money. It details what each member is putting in at the start in exchange for their piece of the pie.
Now Article 3, this is the one everybody cares about, the cash. It spells out that profits and losses get calculated and handed out once a year, usually based on how much of the company each person owns. Then, Article 4 sets up the whole power structure. It answers those critical questions like, who gets to make decisions? How are votes counted? And if you have managers, how do they get picked? And what are they allowed to do? Next up, Article 5 is about how people get paid for their work, not just for being an owner. So this covers things like salaries for managers, or paying people back for business expenses. Then Article 6 lays down the law for bookkeeping. It says your financial records have to follow a standard calendar year, and it makes sure every member has the right to see the company's books every year.
And finally, the last 2 articles give you some really crucial protections. Article 7 is all about the transfer of membership. It gives the existing members the first right to buy out someone who wants to leave, which is huge. And Article 8 outlines the official process for shutting the whole thing down, making sure all your debts are paid before any final money is distributed.
Okay, so the structure makes a lot of sense on paper, but how does this template actually perform out in the wild? Let's walk through what it's like to actually use it.
Northwest has really designed this to be incredibly simple. You just go to their free forms library on their website, you pick your structure, and you select your state. Now that last step is super important because they actually tweak the language to match up with your local state laws. Then you just download the file, fill in your LLC's details, and once everybody signs it, you just keep it with your important company papers. Easy as that. So why even bother with all this? Well, because without this signed document, you can't really operate as a business. A bank won't even talk to you about opening an account without one. A lender is definitely going to ask for it. But honestly, most importantly, this is your roadmap for when things get complicated, a partner wants to leave, or there's a big disagreement. This document gives you the answers before you're in the middle of a crisis.
But, no template is a silver bullet. So to give you the complete picture, let's take an objective look at both the good and the bad of using this free resource. When you look at this slide, the pros are pretty tough to argue with.
It's completely free, it's customized for your state's laws, and it's written in plain English. For most new businesses, that's a massive win. The drawbacks, though, are really all about its limitations. This is a template, right? It's not a custom legal strategy. If your business has really complex ownership or special tax stuff going on, this might not be enough. And it's so important to remember, this form is a tool, not a substitute for an actual lawyer's advice.
So, after all that, what's the bottom line? Is the Northwest Operating Agreement the right call for your business?
Our verdict is actually pretty clear. This is an outstanding free tool. For the vast majority of people starting a standard LLC, this template gives you a really strong, reliable legal foundation. Its true power is that it forces you to figure out the rules of your business before you have problems, and that can save you from huge conflicts down the line.
So we'll leave you with this one last thought. For most businesses, this template is an amazing starting point, but you have to be really honest with yourself about your own business. If you're dealing with a bunch of investors, complicated profit sharing, or unique intellectual property, you've got to ask yourself, is a standard template really enough to protect what I'm building? And your answer to that question, well, that's going to tell you exactly what to do next.